Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
Good afternoon, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the Wood TV Live Desk. Hope you're all having a great start to your Tuesday because it is probably about to get a whole lot worse. Storm Team Meteorologist Blake Harms is here like he is every Tuesday. Blake, once again, I've got to say, we love having you on the live desk, but once again, you're here bringing some pretty rough news. There is another threat of severe weather coming to the state, west side of Michigan, other surrounding states and areas over the next day or so. Blake, what is the latest with this storm development?
Yeah, well, Phil, I'm glad it's not snow, but unfortunately what we have is coming is a little more dangerous than snow. We actually want to start with a radar picture. This is from just a few minutes ago. This is over by Chicago. You can see a few severe thunderstorm warnings in place over there for hail. Now, that complex has been producing hailstones up to baseball-sized and wind gusts up to 70 to 80 miles per hour at times. Now, as this moves in our direction, it's moving into less favorable atmospheric conditions, so we expect it to weaken below severe limits, but we are still seeing some rain move into Grand Rapids right now. We'll see some intermittent showers and storms through this evening and overnight. So if we look at the risk levels for tonight, they're on the low end. So
That's good to see.
Yes, it is. So level 2 out of 5 risk for most of Ottawa, Allegan, Van Buren, Berrien, and Cass counties, and the best chance will be with those storms coming over from Chicago. At this point, chance appears low. So the timing on that is through this evening. The much greater risk is off to our west with that. So that's kind of the first round of storms that are going to be rolling through. Honestly, one of the bigger threats is going to be flooding. We saw 3/4 of an inch of rain last night. Ground is extremely saturated. We're having one of our wettest starts of the year. And so any more rain will just kind of compound in any areas that see heavy rain for a prolonged period of time could see some flooding. So then we turn our attention to tomorrow, and that is level 3 out of 5 risk, an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms, which is much greater than today's. And notice that's for almost all of lower Michigan. So that's what we're really focusing on in terms of potential severe weather tomorrow. And this one has an elevated risk for tornadoes with it. Now, there is some uncertainty as to how exactly the day is going to unfold. However, it does look like if we were to see severe thunderstorms, the timing on that would be late morning through mid to late afternoon, beginning at 11 o'clock, noon, and then continuing through 3 or 4 p.m. And the tornado risk is elevated with this. So we have a 10%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's one of the highest risks Michigan has been in years.
10% of a tornado is obviously nothing to shake your stick at.
Right, and that's 10% chance of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of your location. So Storm Prediction Center is feeling optimistic, and they also have a hatching on there, which means that they believe that there's the potential for EF2 or stronger tornadoes. Also, hatching on this hail risk, there's a 30% chance of seeing severe hail with the possibility of seeing hail of 2 inches or larger. So bottom line is tomorrow we're a little uncertain how exactly the timing is going to unfold. If we see a lot of rain and thunderstorms in the morning, early in the morning, that will likely lower our chances. But if we can avoid some of that, all hazards are on the table, large hail damaging winds and perhaps even some strong tornadoes, and that's what we're going to be watching during the day tomorrow.
And we have seen a lot of concern in sort of the same areas that we were concerned about on Friday when you were back here on the live desk. How similar is this system, this severe weather threat, compared to late last week?
Yeah, so I would say that it's very similar in terms of risk level over in parts of Iowa and Illinois. The main differences are not expecting as much convection over there, but the storms that do fire up will be very severe. And obviously the main difference with this one is that the cold front's passing through in the peak of the day, which is perfect timing for severe thunderstorms here in West Michigan. In the morning, many of us will be waking up to temperatures in the mid-60s, and by late morning, we'll be in the low 70s with dew points in the low to mid-60s. So it's going to be very warm and very humid, and that is going to help destabilize the atmosphere and produce an environment that is capable of producing severe thunderstorms.
Right. No, and of course, people hear that it's going to be maybe even close to 70 tomorrow. That sounds exciting, but no, it actually does spell a lot of trouble, or at least it could, over the next couple of hours. Blake, any specific things that we really need to be concerned about, things to be looking out for to determine or really kind of figure out a better idea if this is going to be worse or potentially not as bad as maybe we're thinking?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, if we see a lot of rain and thunderstorms early in the morning, we're talking between, let's say, 6 a.m. and about 10, 11 a.m., that would lower our chances. Now, we're still going to have a chance for severe weather, but I believe that if we see a lot of showers and storms early in the morning, our chance for tornadoes will be lower. If we can avoid showers and storms early in the morning, our chances for tornadoes specifically would be higher. So what I would recommend is today just reviewing your tornado safety procedures. Obviously, we very rarely have to use it, but it's good to know what to do and where to go. And just having a way to stay informed, making sure your wireless emergency alerts are turned on your phone to get that alert when a tornado warning is issued, or downloading the Storm Team 8 app and turning notifications on. Having multiple ways to receive warnings is very important on a day like tomorrow. And I think that's what I'd like to drive home more than anything else, just being prepared. There's always the chance that this doesn't pan out like we're forecasting, but we can't assume it's not. And so it's always better to be prepared and not have to need it than to be unprepared and have to take those precautions.
Right. Better to be safe than sorry.
Exactly.
Blake, again, you and the rest of the Storm team have been and are going to continue to be on top of everything. As Blake mentioned, the best way to stay informed is to have more than one way to get it. You can find everything you need on our newscast, as Blake and the Storm team are going to be continuously updating everybody on what's going on. But you can also find that same information over on our website, woodtv.com. There you can even check out maybe even some other weather-related topics, such as this conversation right here. That will all be on our website as well.
And it should be in the article where we really lay out the timeline and show some of those graphics. So if you want a more in-depth analysis, you can find it at woodtv.com.
Right, absolutely. Well, Blake, we are going to let you get back to it. You're going to be very busy over the next couple of days, so we are going to let you go and get right back on that. But we do appreciate you coming on the live desk today.
Hey, thank you for having me, Phil.
Of course. And I want to thank everybody else for tuning into this latest edition of the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.